Hello and welcome to The London Perspective. I'm your host, Stefan. Today, we're going to be discussing a topic that has been on many people's minds in recent years: the rise of language models like ChatGPT, and the question of whether or not they will replace search engines like Google. I'll be giving you a detailed look at what ChatGPT is, how it works, and its potential impact on the way we access and consume information. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about what ChatGPT is. ChatGPT is a language model developed by OpenAI, and it uses machine learning to generate natural language text. It's been trained on a massive dataset of text, which allows it to understand and respond to a wide range of prompts. It's been used in a variety of applications, from chatbots to language translation, and even writing creative fiction. But one of its most exciting potential uses is as a search engine replacement. So, how does ChatGPT work? Well, it uses a technique called transformer architecture to analyze and understand the text it's been trained on. This allows it to generate responses that are not only grammatically correct, but also contextually relevant. For example, if you ask ChatGPT a question about a specific topic, it will be able to provide you with a detailed and accurate answer. Now, let's talk about the potential impact of ChatGPT on the way we access and consume information. Imagine being able to ask a question and receive a detailed and accurate answer in seconds, without having to sift through pages of search results. ChatGPT has the potential to revolutionize the way we search for information, making it faster, more efficient, and more accurate. Of course, the question on many people's minds is whether or not ChatGPT will replace Google. While ChatGPT is certainly a powerful tool, it's important to note that it's not a direct replacement for Google. Google uses a variety of algorithms to rank and sort search results, whereas ChatGPT simply generates text based on a given prompt. However, ChatGPT's ability to understand and respond to a wide range of prompts makes it a valuable addition to the search process. Now, let's take a look at some real-world examples of ChatGPT in action. One example is OpenAI's DALL-E, a tool that allows users to generate images from text prompts. For example, you can type a picture of a cat wearing a top hat, and DALL-E will generate an image of exactly that. Another example is GPT-3 Generative Pre-training Transformer 3 inches, an AI model that can complete a wide range of tasks like writing essays, composing music, even generating computer code. It's being used by companies and individuals to automate various tasks and processes, increasing efficiency and reducing the need for human intervention. So, what does the future hold for ChatGPT? Well, it's clear that this technology has enormous potential, and we're already seeing it being used in a wide range of applications. However, as with any new technology, there are also concerns about its potential impact on jobs and industries. It's important to consider the ethical implications of ChatGPT and other AI technologies, and to ensure that they are developed and used in a responsible way. Let's take a closer look at the pros and cons of ChatGPT. On the plus side, ChatGPT has the potential to make our lives easier and more efficient, by providing us with quick and accurate answers to our questions. It can also be used to automate certain tasks, freeing up time and resources for other activities. However, there are also concerns about the impact of ChatGPT on jobs and industries, as well as the potential for misuse of the technology. Now, let's talk about some statistics on ChatGPT. According to a recent report, the global AI market is expected to grow from $22.9 billion in 2020 to $190.6 billion by 2025, at a CAGR of 42.2% during the forecast period. This growth is driven by the increasing adoption of AI in various industries, including healthcare, finance, and retail. Additionally, research firm Gartner predicts that by 2024, 75% of enterprise-generated data will be created by machines, rather than humans. Of course, opinions on ChatGPT are varied. Some experts believe that this technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we access and consume information, while others are more cautious and have concerns about the impact of ChatGPT on jobs and industries. Here's a question you might have. What do you think about ChatGPT's potential impact on the job market? That's a great question, and one that many people are asking. It's true that ChatGPT and other AI technologies have the potential to automate certain tasks, which could lead to job loss in certain industries. However, it's also important to consider the potential for new job opportunities in fields related to AI and machine learning. It's a complex issue, and one that requires further discussion and consideration. Another important aspect to consider is the ethical implications of ChatGPT. As with any new technology, it's important to ensure that it's developed and used in a responsible way. This includes considering the potential impact on jobs and industries, as well as the potential for misuse of the technology. Here's a question you might have. Do you think ChatGPT will eventually be able to completely replace search engines like Google? It's important to remember that ChatGPT is a language model, not a search engine. While it has the potential to make the search process faster, more efficient, and more accurate, it's not a direct replacement for Google or other search engines. However, it's certainly a valuable tool that can be used in conjunction with search engines to improve the search experience. It's also important to remember that while ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it's not infallible. It's still important to have human input and oversight to ensure that the information provided is accurate and unbiased. Here's a question you might have. What are some potential uses for ChatGPT in the future? That's a great question. The potential uses for ChatGPT are truly endless. We've already seen it being used in a wide range of applications, from chatbots and language translation to writing creative fiction and even generating computer code. But, as the technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more innovative uses for ChatGPT in the future. Some potential examples include using ChatGPT for medical diagnosis and treatment, financial forecasting, and even personalizing the shopping experience for customers. As we continue to see the rise of AI and language models like ChatGPT, it's important to also consider the issue of data privacy. The more data that is fed into these models, the more they learn and improve, but it's important to ensure that personal data is protected and not misused. Here's a question you might have. How do you see ChatGPT impacting the way we consume news and information? ChatGPT has the potential to change the way we consume news and information by providing us with more personalized and accurate results. It can also help to combat fake news and misinformation by providing fact-checked and reliable sources. However, it's also important to consider the potential for bias and manipulation in the information provided by ChatGPT, and to always verify and fact-check any information obtained through the model. While ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it's important to remember that it's not a replacement for human interaction. It can certainly make our lives easier and more efficient, but it's also important to maintain a balance between the use of technology and personal connections. Here's a question you might have. Do you think ChatGPT will change the way we communicate with each other? ChatGPT has the potential to change the way we communicate with each other by providing us with more accurate and efficient responses. However, it's important to remember that it's still a machine, and it may not always understand the nuances and subtleties of human communication. Additionally, it can also be used to automate certain communication tasks, such as customer service, but it's important to ensure that there is a human backup to provide more personalized and empathetic response when needed. As we continue to see the rise of ChatGPT and other AI technologies, it's important to also consider the issue of regulation. Governments and organizations must ensure that these technologies are developed and used in a responsible way, and that data privacy and ethical considerations are taken into account. Here's a question you might have. How do you see ChatGPT impacting the way we learn and educate ourselves? ChatGPT has the potential to change the way we learn and educate ourselves by providing us with more personalized and accurate information. It can also be used to automate certain tasks, such as grading and providing feedback on student work. However, it's important to remember that it's still a machine and it may not always understand the nuances of human learning and education. Additionally, it's important to ensure that there is a human oversight to check the accuracy of the information provided by the model. While ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it's important to remember that it's not a replacement for human creativity. It can certainly assist in the creative process by providing inspiration and new ideas, but ultimately, it's the human touch that brings a truly unique and creative touch to any project. It's important to find a balance between utilizing technology and maintaining the human element in creativity. Here's a question you might have. Do you think ChatGPT will change the way businesses operate? ChatGPT has the potential to change the way businesses operate by providing them with more efficient and accurate information. It can also be used to automate certain tasks, such as customer service and data analysis. However, it's important for businesses to consider the potential impact on jobs and industries, and to ensure that the technology is used in a responsible and ethical way. As we continue to see the rise of ChatGPT and other AI technologies, it's important to remember the importance of transparency. It's important for organizations and individuals to be open and honest about how these technologies are being used and what data is being collected. This can help to build trust and ensure that these technologies are used in a responsible and ethical way. Here's a question you might have. How do you see ChatGPT impacting the way we make decisions? ChatGPT has the potential to change the way we make decisions by providing us with more accurate and efficient information. However, it's important to remember that it's still a machine, and it may not always understand the nuances and subtleties of human decision-making. Additionally, it's important to ensure that there is a human oversight to verify and fact-check any information obtained through the model. And that concludes our discussion on ChatGPT and its potential impact on the way we access and consume information. It's clear that this technology has enormous potential, but it's important to consider the ethical implications and to ensure that it's developed and used in a responsible way. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another episode of The London Perspective.